there, crafty friends. It's Diane, the Creative Inkster, and today is Wednesday, June 21st, and I have a technique to share with you. I hope you're along for the ride and will leave me your name in the comments so I know that you're here and can ask any questions about this as we go along. And if you're watching the replay, well, leave me a note about that too. I'm sure once you see this, you'll have lots of other ideas that you can do with this. So this technique used to be done in a much more complicated way. You needed to have some paper that was watercolor for sure. I'm going to show you how you can do it on a vellum, a decorative vellum, on a basic white, and on this naturally gilded paper, which I think is my favorite and looks like the best. So you're looking to start with, hi Vicki, two colors that kind of go nicely together. So what do I do here? All right, so I have, on this one here, I have Balmy Blue and Misty Moonlight. That's how I did it on this piece here. Now these pieces were not specifically cut for this. They're about 3 by 4. They were just scraps that I had kicking around. This pattern here was done with Fresh Freesia and Berry Burst. And then this one, which is my favorite, is Crumb Cake and a new color Pecan Pie. So I'm going to show you how to do all 3 versions of it, but just the rectangles for the actual technique. What you're going to need is some cotton balls. So these are just from the dollar store, like 100 for $1.25. Some alcohol, and the higher the percentage, the better. I don't know where I got this from, honestly. It could very well have been from when I had surgery, and yeah, because it expired August 2021, but that's not going to matter for using it for crafts. And so it may have come from the medical supply store. I don't know. But anyway, the higher the better. I think you can even get like 90% in the dollar store. So look for that. And the only reason you want it to be a higher percent is it'll dry faster. And it just goes a little bit better than even using water. And that's the main reason we use alcohol. You're going to need a couple of blocks because we're going to actually do this stuff on the blocks. So let's start with, I was thinking starting with the lighter colors, but they all have a light and a dark. So let's start with this card. This is a messy, messy technique, people. I'm going to tell you that right up front. So the first paper I'm doing it on is from this package of Naturally Gilded. It has the gold, some silver flecked, and some copper. And it's in a package about I think it's $21. It is on the online exclusives, and it's item number 161639. And I have a piece cut, so these ones actually cut to a specific size. And this one is they're 3 by 4. So my sample ones were just based on what I had in the scrap bin. So this is the piece with the copper on it. And you're going to need your 2 blocks because we're going to stick our blocks into that. And we're going to take the rubbing alcohol. Just take the lid off. And you need a cotton ball for each color. I told you this is a messy, messy thing. Just going to leave that over to the side. I'm going to have my silicone craft mat handy just in case I need to blot off a little bit as I go. Right then, so I kind of took, these are the cheapy ones, so I kind of opened them up a little bit to start. I don't know how much that matters, but it just kind of helps it get within the in the cotton ball a little bit better. Could you use cotton puff things for makeup? Probably. All right, so we are going to start. Basically, we're going to be wetting one of the cotton balls, and we are going to mix it with the ink. So we're going to used to do this technique by mixing ink refill that you refill your ink pads with and the rubbing alcohol and so on to do it. This is much easier. You just take your block and add some ink that way. And then I'm going to clean my blocks as I go. I'm just going to use baby wipes for right here, but normally I would probably go to my sink and rinse them off. It just is easier. So I've got the 2 colors here. Grab my rubbing alcohol. and I'm going to add some to the cotton ball. You probably have some of this stuff at home already. And then I'm going to dip it first in the lighter color, and you're going to get it, you can almost even squeeze it. You're going to get it so that it's a bit runny. And on my scratch paper, you can see that I'm going here, and it's pretty wet. That's okay. And the fact that this is the gilded with the foil on it will give a little bit of a resist technique as well. So you're just gently dotting this in places. We're looking to give it a marbled, polished stone kind of look. Not even the name of the technique, but there you go. All right, so it's on there. I've got little blotches on there. And then I'm going to go to my other color, but I'm not going to get rid of that one just yet because I may need to go back in. Actually, I probably should stick it over here on the silicone mat. So there's some wet on there, but I don't think that's wet enough. I didn't want it to be like sopping wet, but generously wet. And I found if I got it on here and sort of had it sort of the running look on there, then I got a good consistency, but just play with it. And then I come over here and I just see how that works on my scratch paper. So this is almost dry over here. I'm going to do this. Add some more in here. And then if you go and mix it too much, you are going to end up with a big muddy mess, no matter what color you use. So your goal is to get the color down to cover the white as much as possible, but not muddy the colors too much so that you see a distinct two color to it. How's that for instruction, right? Okay, so then you can go back in. The wetter it is, in a way, the easier it is to work with. And of course, going on to the copper foil paper, you're just adding so much more texture to it. And so I'm going back in between the two just to add more here and there so that I get my two distinct colors that give that marbling effect. But I'm covering up the white as best I can. So as one color dries and you lay another color down, that looks quite something, let me tell you. I think I'll go back in with this one a little bit more. Oh, that was a little bit more of a blotch than I wanted. That's okay. Always go back over it. There. So that is how we add that sort of marbling effect. And it smells very fresh and clean because it's running alcohol. So I'm going to set that aside to finish off my card. Oops, I turned my light off. To finish this off, because it was 3 by 4, I just added a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, wrapped some ribbon, did a quick embellishment, put another layer on, and popped it on a lemon lolly card. This embossing folder is the new exposed brick. And I also want to mention, if you're watching this tonight, that today is free shipping day. So if you see any of these products that you want and you want me to place an order, let me know. I've got another order going in tonight, and I can add it on for you. I'm just going to toss those out because I'm only using this one set of blocks tonight. I'm going to wipe these clean with a baby wipe. But like I said, I probably would go to my sink and just wash them off. And then toss that out. All right, let's work on the next color. So this was the naturally gilded paper. Now we're going to go on basic white, 3 by 4. What do you think so far? Any thoughts on this? I probably should dry this off a little bit. I'm going to stick it in my ink pad. I don't want it to go in there with rubbing alcohol on it. And, not damage, but it would probably lessen the color of my ink pad. So the next set of colors on the white, and I don't think it really matters what you do it on, it's just what I chose to do it on. Balmy Blue and Misty Moonlight. So repeat the same pattern. Go into the block. It's just a little D block. Any block will do. This is the one I have the most of, and it's kind of a standard size. And then the Misty Moonlight. Add that on there. You can either take the block and stick it in to the ink pad or do it ink that over the block. Here we are. The person I saw doing a video on this was actually wearing gloves. I'm okay. I'm okay with my fingers getting mucky. All right, so we will repeat the process by adding some of the rubbing alcohol onto the two little cotton balls. And I'm going to go once again with the light color first. Go in here and squeeze a little bit, make it a little bit runny. This one I want to be a little bit more runny. There isn't the naturally gilded pattern paper to kind of resist, so I will end up with a lot more white if I'm not careful. So just plopping it down with little splotches, big splotches and little splotches, kind of all over, making sure to leave space for my darker one. And we don't want to muddy it all. So that's the first one. And then now for the Misty Moonlight, which is a pretty dark color. I'm actually going to add a little more. Ooh, a little more rubbing alcohol to that one. Because it's a dark color and I don't want it to go down too dark on there for me. There we go. Now we're just patting this down here and there. So, you could do 3 colors if you really wanted to. This would actually look really pretty, actually, I think, with like a pink offshoot. So I might even jump in and do that. So we'll add some more of the balmy blue as it begins to dry. Fill up the spots a little bit more. So you'll see as it starts to dry, you're adding layer upon layer upon layer onto it. And then let's add a 3rd color, because we said we would. Another block over here somewhere. Let's take that Berry Burst and see how that looks. My block and just add some color there. I have no shortage of these cotton balls, so oops, I just put a little piece off. Out you go. And we'll just add a little bit of rubbing alcohol onto it. Here we go. All liquefied on the block. It's going to be pretty dark. Ooh, it's going to be very bright. I like it. And it just kind of gets a little bit of flex here and there. So you're making your own pattern paper, which is lovely, even though it's on sale this month. But you don't have anything with these particular colors. So this will allow you to choose whatever color you want from your stash that you have ink pads for. Move that away to the side for a second. I feel like this needs a little bit more Misty Moonlight, so we'll add a little bit more of that. I feel like it's really pink. And then the more like wet that you get on it, the more it's going to run on here. You've got a nice base of colors that you're not going to end up with it being too blotchy. You've got layers of different shades of the Misty Moonlight. There. It's really taking shape now. I love it. And add some where it's quite dark. Really dark pieces. There we go. All right, so that is our finished masterpiece. This would look gorgeous as a layer with just a greeting on it, or if you wanted to add some leaf and greenery, as I did on this one. This one just had the 2 blues, but adding the ribbon and some complementary embellishments, and you're set. So I'm going to set that one aside to dry, and I'll make some more cards with these. Now we're going to clean up our mess here a little bit. These are pretty dark colors. I know I'm going to go back in and use this one, but I've already had alcohol on it. So pretty dark colors. May need more than one baby wipe to clean this mess up. One thing you can do if you're working at a table like I do is get a little bowl or a plastic container and put water in it, and then you have your water really handy to you so you're not wasting by using baby wipes. but they're a handy tool to have in the stamping room, that's for sure. And I find when I put colors onto some of these blocks and they're pinks and reds, I need to go wash it anyway because it just, you think you're getting it off, but you don't get all the color off. All right, and my last version was on top of this paper. So this is in the annual catalog. Here it is. It's called Vellum Basics. They're 12 by 12 sheets. You get 12 of them, I believe. No, I'm sorry, you get 6 12 by 12s. And I just cut this into a 3 by 4. You have a couple of different patterns on here. And the leaf one was the one I was sort of drawn to using. You could use regular vellum, pardon me, but you can see a little bit of the leaf pattern through there. So I wanted to play with it and use that. So let's give this guy a go. We're gonna use our Berry Burst and Fresh Freesia. Ooh, that's a nice dark color. Love it. If you've got a super juicy ink pad, this is perfect to get it kind of launched. And a couple more of our cotton balls. Press them out a little bit, pull them apart a wee bit, get in there. You also get a little bit different angle from the cotton ball when you do that. And we'll make them a little bit wet. Ooh. And so take these guys out of the way so they're safe. I'll do this one too. So you get the idea of how this all comes together. Beautiful, actually. I'm thinking I'm going to do this one with my team next month, or if I don't have a card already finalized. Right, so we're going to have to add a little bit more. This needs a little more juice. So more of the rubbing alcohol. There we go. Now it's floaty on there. And then we're just going to go, now I'm going to stick this underneath the silicone mat so you can see how the color comes on it. I'm just going to put the light color first. There's the light color laid down. Come back to it. It is quite light in comparison. All right. And then we'll grab the second one. It's starting to dry even that quickly. And we'll add some color to here. Ooh. And yeah, you want to use your cotton balls. You want to use something that's sort of not a permanent tool in your room, something you can toss away. I have some colors on there. This vellum may take a little bit longer to dry. That's okay. It's just that's the way that it's not a porous kind of material. Now in this case, I am going to actually spread them around a little bit without turning it into a hot mess over here. Because I find that there's quite a contrast in these colors. So if I actually go around like this and then go back to the darker color, spread that around a little bit, when it dries, it's going to look quite something. There we go. So there's our marbled look on there. And I think, hi Wendy, I think that the vellum paper on the back is quite striking because it shows through as a pattern. And amongst all that. Now you're going to see that this starts to curl. The more that you use, it'll automatically curl. I'm trying to hold it so you can see that. It's going to curl up a little bit. That's okay. You can either use your heat tool to help it dry faster, or you can just go ahead and wait till it dries and then fan it out a bit just by folding it over. All right, so that's this one done, and we'll see how that turns out when it's all said and done and dry. So thanks for watching. This was a quick tutorial on how to do this. I'll bring my finished cards back in for you to see, but let's just wipe some stuff down here before we end up with pink and blue and everything all over our fingertips. That's going to happen for sure. There we go. Get this out the way. And here are the finished cards. So that's on the vellum. That one's on the naturally gilded. And then here's the one on basic white. So you do not need to buy fancy watercolor paper to do this. The alcohol will dry quick enough that it'll allow your pattern to take hold but not make your paper soaking wet. A couple of blocks will do. You could even, if you had a silicone mat, you could add your ink right on there. This is water-based ink, so it's not going to stain it. You just go wash this off. And a couple of ink pads. Enjoy. I hope you give this a try and let me know how it goes. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.